Hello, hello. This is Robin Sampson with BibleJournalLove.com. Today I'll be creating a traveler's notebook page and a memory dex card in Photoshop. You can easily follow these steps if you're using Photoshop Elements or the new free version of Photopea. I'll be using the artwork included in the Conquest Era Bible Journaling Through the Conquest Era class. There's the main kit and the Rahab lesson kit. You will watch me Bible journal digitally to get ideas. The purpose of this video is not to teach you how to use the software. We have classes for that. So let's get started. I'm opening the Traveler's Notebook PDF, and I'll be using it and dragging and dropping the images that I want to use on this Traveler's Notebook. Let's start with the chipboard word Rahab, the floral chipboard, and then we'll use the images of Rahab and the two spies and the Bible verse. There's two Bible verses in this kit. One is from Joshua 1 and one is from Joshua chapter 2. The one with Joshua chapter 1 was actually said to Joshua, but we're going to include it in this because it talks about being brave and courageous, which is what Rahab is. And of course I want to use the scarlet cord because that's significant in this story. Let's see what else we're going to use here. Now, since I have some Bible verses, I'm going to need some mats to go underneath the Bible verses, because if you don't use a mat underneath a verse, or a photo, you lose. They aren't as prominent on the page. So I'm going to try a couple different mats out. Now that we have the main images, let me move some of these out of the way and start placing the photos inside the frames. Let me show you something that's very helpful. When you have a lot of stuff like this loaded in and it gets cluttered, you can go and click on all the eyeballs all at once. You can sweep right down and make them all disappear until you need them. So just watch. See, everything is gone. So now I can put them back as I need them. And we'll just work on this one for now. I just want to get it into the stitching. And then I'm going to lock it in place so that I can go ahead and move on some other things, and that won't get disturbed later. And I'll go grab a piece of washi to hold that into that area. We'll try this for now. I might use a brad later, but for now, you'll notice when you watch me Bible journal digitally that I might start with something and then change it up several times before I'm happy with it. And that's part of the process, and that's what you need to see. So now we don't have this clutter. I can go back and unhide each element as I need it and work on them separately. So let's just do the same thing. We're going to scooch this and nudge it until it's all the way inside the frame. And then go on to the next piece. And this time I'm getting a brad because I'm going to see how the brad looks instead. Brads are very tiny. Now let's see what we're going to do with this verse. We'll put this verse here and put the other verse on the right side. And now I'm going to need a mat behind it, which I don't know exactly what I'm going to do right now because this verse is a strange shape. I might alter the verse, which would be good for you to see how we can alter some word art. But let me look and see how this frame or mat looks first. Move that for now. And we're going to move that for now. I don't know what we're going to do here. Let me think. So a lot of making these pages is moving things around until they look aesthetically correct to you. Let's get a label so that we can tell that the story of Rahab and the spies are in Joshua 2. So now I need to get some text so I can write Joshua 2. And it's in white. I need to change it to black. And I'm going to use Blossom Script, my go-to font, that I really like this font. And for right now, we'll leave it there. I'll put a drop shadow. Okay, let's work on this verse on the right for a minute. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this up. So when you want to change something like that, first you have to rasterize it. And then I'm going to use the eraser tool and just erase these little corners. Being careful not to erase the bounding box there. Let me use the polygonal lasso tool instead and show you that if you cut it out, you can save these little corners and even save them into your artwork and use them later, like in a corner or something. Because those come in real handy, especially if a corner needs a little pop. So you could use it for something like that. But right now, these little corners are in our way because I think this is going to look really good with a circle mat. So I'm just going to use the polygonal lasso tool again to clip this out. And we'll just set that to the side for now and see. We might use it in this page, we might not. So you can turn it around and use it different ways. Let's just get them out of the way for now and focus on this, getting this verse set. So let's try a circle mat. I think that's perfect. Oh, that looks nice. Okay, add a drop shadow to the paper. And we'll put Rahab over here. This is coming along now. Now this mat is more transparent. Remember, if you're on your layers palette, to go up and down, you use the command right bracket and the command left bracket. On a Mac, on a PC, it's control right bracket or left bracket to go up and down. And this mat needs to be underneath the words. And I group that and call it verse just to make my workspace a little bit more organized. And I'm going to put the Joshua 2 over here because I don't want it to be confused with that verse. I want it, the Be Strong and Courageous is from Joshua 1. The story is from Joshua 2. And the verse on the right is from Joshua 1. And I think the gold will look better than the green there. Up and down. You can pull it up and down or use your right bracket. And now my words are a little too big. You can change the text also with the text tool. I'm putting some drop shadows as we go along. I'm using styles that I've used forever. I've just loaded my styles in there. Call that label. Now let's see about adding a cluster. We need something thin. Try this one. And I'm not 100% sure I like it. I have to live with it for a few seconds. Call that verse and have that a little bit more organized. So I grouped it. Now I can move it around together and I don't have to realign it each time. Let's try a flower from the main kit. A flower sticker. Add a few embellishments. We have the main images and verses where I want them. And now we get to play with embellishments. Let's try some leaves on the other side, maybe. You can speed this video up if you don't want to see me place. You don't need to take the time to see me looking for images. Just hit the 2 or 3 times whatever it is on YouTube and it will make it go faster. Or you can just watch me in real time. So now I'm going to try this a flower cluster. I'm going to put, whenever you put a cluster of something, you should always put an odd number, like 3 or 5. So I'm going to do 3 flowers and 2 leaves. But first I wanted to make sure that I include this element. I really like it. Let's go back and work on this flower cluster. And go back to the flowers and find a flower sticker to put underneath for my third one. Zooming in, remember to zoom in is Command plus sign, and to zoom out is Command minus sign on a Mac. On a PC, it's Control plus or Control minus. And let's put some leaves. I'm going to take one set of leaves and drag and drop them on. And then I'm going to duplicate this leaf and turn it around. So remember to duplicate any image. It's Command J on a Mac, Control J on a PC. We'll duplicate that image, and then we'll just turn it around. And that duplicating images comes in very handy. And let's add the word labels, Spies and Rahab. Very slight shadow. I want to build a little bit of washi tape on the bottom of this side, and I like to use 3 or 4 pieces, like a washi cluster. And it's nice because there's the washi tape, it coordinates, so it's all the same colors, and it's going to pull in everything from the kit. Remember, washi tape gets a very, very, very slight shadow, almost none at all, because it's an adhesive. I'm not going to use those. I'm going to get rid of those right now. Let's go ahead and crop this. I'm getting real close to being done, but I want to go ahead and show you how I add my binder clips to the top, because a lot of you ask about that. So what I need to do is make the canvas size a bit bigger. So I need to change this to inches, and about 9 1/4 for the canvas, so that I can fit the binder clips on them. And these binder clips are in my shop. A lot of you already have them. They come, I think there's 10 different sets in one kit. So you could place these on the side or on the top, either way. Let's zoom way in so that we can place them correctly. I'm going to make the canvas size a little bigger. Needs to be 10 inches high. Okay, let's adjust the other one. I think the red looks so pretty with the yellow gold. And the turquoise. And the brown. It all's coming together. I'm going to put a wood background on that. For my style. And I'm going to go ahead and put like a gray paper behind it and give it a shadow, and that makes it look more like it's a book, a traveler's notebook, but it has a few pages behind it. And you can play around with that, make it the color that you want. Okay, I think that I added the bow and the arrow and the butterfly. Well, I added a few things and realized I wasn't recording, so I'm sorry. Snuck a few things in on you there. And then there was one more piece of washi tape I added. So now I'm going to save this. I like to save my with the same type naming convention. I always say Bible Journaling Digitally, BJD, and then TN. I put a 2 on it if I have binders, and then the Conquest Era and Rahab. And this is going to be a TIF because I want to save the layers. And I should have saved it before now, so save before it gets too late. In case something happens, you don't want to lose your work. And I'm just going to add some more shadows. And crop it a little. And I want to save this because this is for the internet, because I'm sharing this online. I'm going to save it at around 1200. I used to save it a lot smaller, but I also want to post it on Pixel Scrapser Forum, and they want you to save it above 1,000 pixels. So I save it 1200 wide, and then I'll share that in the Facebook group and on Pixel Scrapper in their album. And I wanted to show you that this Traveler's Notebook can be the same exact background I used on another page, and it looks completely different. So this one has little pockets and tags in it. So just so you know, this one is not layered, but I have another one that is, but this is the flattened image. So you can use the same Traveler's Notebook several times. You know what? I forgot one of the major things, the scarlet rope. And I'll get that in just a minute. I wanted to see if the camel or the llama would fit on this page. And I don't think the camel's going to work. Let's try. No, this isn't going to work. But the llama will fit. There you go. And I think I'm going to add, it just needs a little red over here on the bottom of the right side too. I'm going to move the bow to the verse, and then let's duplicate by Command J on a Mac, Control J on a PC, this rickrack, and make one of them red. And add a color overlay of red. There you go. Much better. And here's my scarlet cord. The arrow's pointing out that Rahab is strong and courageous. I didn't lock that layer, and now it's scooching on me. And then let's group that background. I want a little bit more red on this page. So I'll put one brad in the middle. That looks better. A few more shadows. I'm just adding shadows and straightening things up. But one other thing that you could do is, instead of this verse, is put a journal card here for your notes, or you could just put the notes in this light colored area, this blank space here. So let me show you how that would look. And you can put your notes from your lesson there, what you think about Rahab's character. So that looks good like that. Another option is to put a rectangle behind the verse instead of a mat, and I think that would look really good here. Let's try that. So you just go to the rectangle, draw a rectangle, make it red with no stroke. Now if you left it like that, it could be a pocket and you could put a tag in it. We're going to make it a little bit bigger and go ahead and put that Bible verse back there. And of course it's going to not look good in black. We'll have to change it to white. At the top and turn this, put a white overlay on the black words. And there you go. So I like this page now. I'm very happy with it. And let's go on and make a memory dex card. Okay, let's grab an image and the Bible verse. And we'll start with this background, but I'm going to try another background before we finish. And the chipboard words. And let's align that. So you could do one card with this verse and this image, and the next card with the other verse and the other image. And of course you can always use the back of the card for journaling. And we need the scarlet cord. Drop shadow, drop shadow. and a cluster on the bottom. Yeah, much better. You know, you can add to my clusters. I'm going to put that brad down here on this cluster and use washi tape on the photo. And I love that red flower. And I'm just going to add that to this cluster. Give it another pop of red down here. I like the way this is coming together, but I still feel like the background is a little too busy, so I'm going to try something else. I'm going to try another card background, which is so great that you can do that with digital. You can't do that with paper. Once that's all glued down, it's there. So let's look at the deck's cards and see if one might look a little better than this one, because that one's really busy. There we go. Let's do this one. Send it to the back. There we go. Now we still need to put a layer underneath this, or it's going to blend in too much. It needs a matte, or what I'm going to do is just draw a rectangle in this light green. I'll do a rounded edge rectangle. I'm on the wrong layer. I need to move it up one. Let me just go ahead and fix the color and remove the stroke and bring it up. Much better. Much, much better. Give it a drop shadow. There we go. Dex cards are so quick and easy. You can really put these together fast. That's what I'm going to do. I like it like this the best. So that's all for now. I will see you in the Facebook group. If you have any questions, just ask me there. Bye-bye for now.